rescue teams remain at the scene as the investigation into the crash continues. 52 rescuers and 11 vehicles from Kazakhstan's Ministry for Emergency Situations are on this site right now. So Aditya, as we said, rescue operations are in full swing. We still don't know if all the passengers have been removed from the aircraft. There may be several who may have died because of this massive crash where the aircraft just blew up and we see plumes of smoke. Unfortunate incident. Any more indication of how many people have at this point of time been rescued thus far by the emergency services that are present on the ground?
Well, absolutely, Megha. Like so far, as per the latest updates, maybe 40 to 45 people may have been rescued so far, and more are in the process of being rescued, because when such a major crash takes place, it is very difficult to get this rescue operation completed very soon, because it is very technicalities involved. So many fire tenders are need to be called for extinguishing the fire, and then the dead bodies have to be taken out, and then as per the standard operating procedures, ambulances need to come and take them to the nearest hospital. So it is a time-taking process which needs to be monitored in the time minute by minute, Megha.
Okay, I go back to Major General P.K. Sehgal. Major General P.K. Sehgal, is just going to be a few hours. Up until then we will have to keep a close eye. We are getting to know that the rescue operations are underway in full swing. We're getting to know there are 22 survivors that have been taken to the hospital thus far, which means there were a total of 67 plus 5 of those crew members who were inside the aircraft. 22 at this point in time have been rescued. There are still a significant number of them that continue to remain on that ill-fated aircraft.
Unfortunately, 45 people have been confirmed dead. 22 have been rescued. How many of these will survive? Only God will be able to tell. Unfortunately, the emergency procedures and the SOPs had not been unfurled. Had the pilot made a call, emergency procedures would have immediately been initiated. None of those emergency procedures have been initiated before the crash. These measures that have now been taken are post the crash, and it will take some time, because it takes quite some time for the black box, etc., to be decoded. They are all coded messages, etc. Decoding takes time. It will possibly go back to the original engine manufacturer to be able to decode. It will take several days for us to get to know what exactly happened. Was it a technical failure? Was it a human failure? Was it because of the weather? Or was it because of the fault of the pilot? That is human failure. Or was it because of lack of appropriate response by the air traffic control? Who actually is responsible for this crash? Only time will tell, only after the formal investigation. Otherwise, it's absolutely, totally premature to speculate on what could have happened. Was it the pilot error? Was it human error? Was it a bird hit? Was it because of the fog, etc.? None of this is clear without an absolute and thorough investigation of the voice recorder and the decoding of the black box.
Major General Sudhakar ji, again, discussion again boils down to how many people can be saved. That is going to be the major concern, the only concern for the Kazakhstan authorities, for the emergency services that have been deployed over there. 25 have been confirmed dead, 22 of them have been taken to the hospital. It is perhaps the rescue efforts right now to pull out the rest of the passengers and crew members from inside the charred remains of the aircraft.
Absolutely, Megha. It's nothing can be said at the moment, and everyone must be keeping the fingers crossed. And because aviation disasters are so difficult to actually gauge as to what kind of outcome and disaster would be leading to, how many deaths will take place, very difficult. There are many people who may appear to be surviving, but in due course of time, the complete metabolism of the system, the body is not able to cope up, and they pass away. It's very unfortunate, and let's keep our fingers crossed. Maybe you could consider Wing Commander Bakshi, who's been raising his finger. He's a domain expert. He's also taken part in many disaster aviation kind of investigations. He will be able to throw some extra light on the subject.
Right. Wing Commander Praful Bakshi, again, situations such as these have happened in the past, as well. In fact, just 24 hours ago, there was the United States Airport Authority that had put a full stop on the number of aircraft that could take off or could descend, keeping in mind the inclement weather, the foggy situation right ahead of Christmas. That had been lifted. How important and crucial does the role of the ATC and the airport authorities become when taking a calculated decision on which are the flights that are allowed to be taking off versus the time during which these aircraft need to be allowed to be stayed back at the airports?
You see, Megha, thank you very much for asking me. The question here is the airport authorities, the ATC, and the person who's controlling the complete aviation pattern, he is in the know of things. He knows the priority of the flight. He knows the capability of the pilots. He knows what is the seriousness of the weather and which pilot is capable of. Their categorization is in front of them, whether it is A, green, master green. These are Air Force terminologies, but what I'm trying to tell you, they have the same categorization in civil, where the ATC allows them and doesn't allow. They don't play any favorites in this here, so nothing like that. And B, I would like to tell you that when the aircraft is orbiting overhead, it does not mean that there is an emergency. He may be orbiting, he may have an RT failure. ATC is not monitoring him. So question is, ATC is trying to convey something else which probably could not be conveyed. That we'll come to know once the investigation starts. That is why I agree with both General Sudhakar ji and General Sehgal that we don't have to conjecture, but it is dangerous. But I can tell you, when you see that out of 67, if 45 are dead, 22 alive are seriously wounded, it could be that the aircraft has landed in a very in a manner where it was very heavy, went off the runway, went and caught fire, and that's why they died. Had it been a direct impact, then things would have been different. So spread of the wreckage, you will tell you exactly what exactly had happened, whether it was landing accident, whether he landed on the wrong place or he couldn't see the runway. So many things can happen. I do not know what are the conditions and availability of landing instruments in that airfield, and what was the categorization of the pilot. We won't know that. But Embraer is a very safe aircraft. So there is no doubt about it that this requires a very serious investigation.
Yes, okay.
And we have to check up from their cockpit voice recorder. Once again, I tell you, FDR, until they are available, all conjectures are used.
Okay, all right.